Hey, Facebook faithful and YouTube subbies. Is that what you guys are? YouTube subscribers? What's up? What's up? Happy Wednesday, everybody. Listen, let me, get started. Welcome. Come on in, settle down, get comfortable, share this on your timeline, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to share this on my timeline with my Facebook family. And give me 1 second while I get this done. You guys, I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted. It has been a full day. I've got absolutely nothing done. Hey, Cousin Quana, I've got nothing done today because, like some of you I know, because we've been communicating on Facebook, I have been tied to my computer. And I scurried out just for a moment to, get me some Haagen-Dazs ice cream, right? Because I needed to fortify myself for that second round of foolishness. And I came up back in here and I really wanted to take a nap. But I couldn't lay down because I had to get ready for you guys. And so as I'm talking to you, let me go ahead and just plug in my microphone. Hear me a little bit better. And good, we're there. So, yeah, wow, crazy day. I don't know. Hey, Michael, how many of you guys watched the Michael Cohen production? Was that not bananas today? And you know what was so amazing to me is that, the other side, right, the GOP got a chance to see what it's like to be in the minority, and they were not happy about that. I mean, you could really almost see collective brain matter, I imagine, on the roof, on the ceiling of that room where that hearing was being held, because they were doing everything that they could procedurally to try to stop that hearing this morning, and of course, to no avail. And so I was there for it. It's not much. It takes very little to, make me happy. That made me happy because Cohen laid out documentation that is going to put Junior, his, as someone would say, his nuts are in the wood chipper now. Yeah, that's a visual that I just get all excited about, right? That was good stuff. That was good stuff. And so now we'll just wait and see, what happens, because little Tink Tink is over on the other side of the world meeting with his lover today. And I'm not talking about, the first thought. I'm talking about little Kim Jong-un. Yeah, they're over there having their love fest, their bromance. And so as soon as he's done with that romantic dinner they have scheduled, I'm sure he'll take back to Twitter, and then we'll have an opportunity to see what he thinks and thought about that whole Cohen situation. And I'm sure that he is preoccupied in a way that probably no one can imagine or understand. But yeah, that was good stuff. So tomorrow there'll be the third day of hearings. We won't get to see what happened in the hearing on tomorrow because it's closed to the public. But today was action-packed, and it was good stuff. So anyway, it seems like so much has gone on in the last week, and I just kind of wanted to catch everybody up on some things that are not breaking news. It's not new news, because it's been 7 days since, we last did this thing, and man, 7 days feels like, really 2 weeks with all that goes on. So let me just start off. Let me just start off talking to my YouTube family. Can y'all quit waving at me? Could you just stop it? I don't understand what you're doing when you wave at me on Facebook. I don't know if it's you waving at me or if it's just Facebook doing what it does, waving at me. But it's unsettling. I don't like it. And I want y'all to stop waving at me. So if that's you doing it, knock it off. And more importantly, listen, if you married and your wife is on Facebook, you really need to not wave at me on Facebook. I don't know, are you guys, you married men, are you guys like thrill seekers? Are you why would a married man whose icon is him and his woman, or his wife, or his significant other, if that's your icon, why are you in my inbox? What's up with that? Why are you waving at me and telling me how cute I am? And yeah, who does that? I don't like it. So, of course, I just ignore. But I do think you're a thrill seeker, and you really take a chance because you don't know me. And screenshots are a thing that you could delete a lot of stuff, but once there's a screenshot, ooh wee. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the kind of girl that's going to get in your family business and start sharing your inbox messages to me with your wife, but you don't know me. And that's a heck of a chance to take, married men who like to get in folks' inbox when your avatar is a picture of you and your woman. I don't get it. But anyway, enough of that. Let me say thank you to my YouTube subscribers, my YouTube subbies. I appreciate you guys. I don't know what it is. I don't know what happens. I don't know if it's some kind of algorithm or something on YouTube, but every now and again I get a burst of interest in my YouTube channel. And so right now I'm sitting somewhere around, I don't know, 5,100, 5,300, something like that, YouTube subscribers. And for those of you who don't do YouTube, it's difficult to get people, much like on Twitter, to get people to follow you. And so, yeah, Michael, death by screenshot. That's funny. It's difficult to get people to follow you on Twitter, and it's difficult to get subscribers on YouTube. And so I so appreciate those of you who are new to my YouTube channel, Sergeant Dorsey Speaks. I appreciate you. And I even appreciate those of you who don't necessarily agree with everything that I say. I'm not opposed to a vigorous debate. I'm clear. And, of course, I'm firm on my position. And you guys know your agreement's not required. But, I mean, I don't have a problem enlightening folks who want to come and debate police policy and, police training. Because, a lot of people could tell me about, how the police are trained and, what they teach us to do. And I don't know which police academy you were in when you tell me about police training, or in the instance of, one subby recently who said that I was absolutely wrong when I made a comment about the young man up in Vallejo who was shot in the drive-thru when I said that it was racial profiling. He said I was absolutely wrong, in his opinion, which is a lot different from, the facts. And so I just had to share with whoever that was, the facts, and I provided him, which is something I don't often do because I don't like doing your homework. I expect you to do it before you come for me. But since he had sparked my competitive spirit, I shared with him the definition of racial profiling so that he would then understand that the young man was not racially profiled. But, he was nice enough to come back and admit that, he didn't know what he was talking about when he first came at me. And so it's those kinds of interactions that let me know, number one, I'm on the right track. Because, when you get folks hot about what you say, you're doing the right thing. And then I appreciate folks who can admit that they're wrong and admit that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. And so that's why I'm here. I'm here to tell you the stuff that you don't know. So we work that out. But I am excited. When I get done here, I often, weekly, I put my Facebook Live up on YouTube. I share it on YouTube so that people who don't do Facebook will get a chance to see and hear what I'm saying. And there was one of my Facebook Live videos from last week that now has over, the last time I checked, it was like, 8,000 views. Just that video alone. And so while I'm excited about having, 5,000 followers, I did have 5,000 followers until today during that hearing, because I had a lot of comments that I was making on Facebook. You guys saw what I was saying. And so by the time the hearing was over, I lost like 4 or 5 followers. So I don't know if those were Tink Tink supporters and they, got butt hurt because of what I was saying. But nonetheless, to have somebody view my video 8,000 or 10,000 times, I don't remember the number right now, is kind of bananas. So I appreciate YouTube. I appreciate those of you who found me. Facebook, if you are on YouTube or if you're not on YouTube, please go over to YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sergeant Dorsey Speaks on YouTube. I would appreciate the support there. And of course, as always, tell a friend, right? For those of you who are here for the first time, who are new to Sergeant Dorsey Speaks on Facebook, tell a friend. Tell a friend that I'm here and have them join us every Wednesday when I go live on Facebook so that they too can find out about me. I'm not new to the game. I've been doing this for a minute. Okay, wait a minute. I don't know why it is every time I get on here with you guys. I don't know if it's that I'm allergic to you or if this is just something in my, well, it's not in my head because it's a real thing, but every time I get on here with you guys, this happens. My nose starts running. So, forgive me. But this way you know I'm not a bot, right? All right, so you wasn't expecting that either, were you? Okay, so anyway, tell a friend about Sergeant Dorsey Speaks. Also, many of you may not know, but yesterday I dropped a new podcast. Sergeant Dorsey Speaks is my podcast. Please do go to the platform of your liking and subscribe, follow Sergeant Dorsey Speaks, my podcast, because you will hear things there that you may or may not hear here. Sometimes I will say something here or there that I think bears repeating on both platforms because not everybody that's on Facebook is on YouTube and vice versa. And okay, Michael, yeah, maybe it's allergies. Let's go with that. I like that, allergies. Not everybody is on every platform, every medium, and so I want certain things to be heard, and I may repeat it, but I try to give different information on my platform for my podcast, my YouTube channel, and then Facebook. I try to kind of mix it up, but I would appreciate everybody following me on all three, and of course I'm on Instagram, Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey, Sergeant Dorsey Speaks on Instagram. I'm on Twitter, Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey, Sergeant Dorsey Speaks. Now, Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey is my primary handle. I'm more consistent, if you will, on Twitter and Instagram with Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey. But anyway, check me out, tell a friend, let folks know that I'm here. And let's see, what else is going on this week? Okay, so what I wanted to talk a little bit about was, because, again, you know, people think that I'm brand new and that I just, you know, fell off the back of a truck or some kind of way, and that there's something that happened in the news in the last year or two that made me start speaking out, and that's not the truth. So let me say, for those of you who know this story or who may have heard, I may be being redundant for you, but let me just say it again. You know, I've written a book. It's my autobiography. It's called Black and Blue, The Creation of a Social Advocate. And in my book, Black and Blue, The Creation of a Social Advocate, I talk about my childhood growing up, because it's about me. I talk about my experiences on the LAPD. I talk about real instances of things that I had been involved in, officers that I worked with, situations that I know about. I name some of the people, and you guys who used to work with me, you know who's who when I give them special names and just talk about the circumstance, but you know who I'm talking about. And so I speak to all of that in my autobiography, and for those of you who would like to know a little bit more about me and that, you can purchase my autobiography on my website, sergeantcheryldorsey.com. I'll send you an autographed copy, or you can just purchase it through Amazon.com, and it will come from them. It won't be coming from me, so you won't get an autographed copy. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about, because you know, when I was, just real quick, a little, you know, side note, and this is in my book, but when I was a young officer, I worked in an area called the Jungle, and I'm referencing this because for my LA family, I don't know if you guys know this, but we're getting a new street name in LA. They're changing the name of Rodeo. It's spelled much like the one over in Beverly Hills, but they call that Rodeo, right? In the hood is Rodeo Boulevard. So evidently Rodeo Boulevard is being renamed to Obama Boulevard. And I want to give a shout out and thanks to my sis Thais, who, sometimes I steal her stuff. So thanks, sis. I appreciate that. I saw it on your timeline that they came up with the placards and everything, and they are in the process of installing Obama Boulevard. And so that's going to be over in the area that, we used to refer to as the jungle back in the day. They don't even refer to it as the jungle. So as I say this, I'm probably dating myself. But back in the day when I was a young police officer, I worked in the jungle, air quotes. I was patrolling in that area. And when I was working that area back in, when dinosaurs roamed the earth, back in the 80s, we used to have conflict all the time with the Nation of Islam FOI soldiers who lived, many of them lived over there in the jungle at the time, and so we were having these skirmishes from time to time, and I was working an A car, a patrol car, a two-man car, and my area was the jungle, and so I had a partner over there by the name of Mike Blackburn. Some of you guys might remember that from LAPD, and yeah, he was a special kind of dude, but nonetheless, we used to have these confrontations all the time over there, and it was a really rough area, and that's changing now because of gentrification. So everybody who lives over there near the Crenshaw Mall, you understand what I'm talking about. The jungle was what it was called. Then it became Lower Baldwin Hills, and I don't know what they call it now. But anyway, all of that is getting a new name. And so I talk about my experiences over there as a young police officer, working in then the jungle, the area that's soon to be referred to as Obama Boulevard. So that's exciting. That's exciting. Let me talk a little bit more about some, before I get to some of the other crazy news that I want to update on that's not new news, but it's, well, let me just get right to it. So let's just go ahead and talk about, R. Kelly. He made bail, for those of you who don't know. He was able to make bail on Monday, and the lady that bailed him out, evidently she has a daycare, some kind of a Christian daycare, and she has several restaurants in Chicago. And so, listen, it's been reported in the news that folks are already dragging her. They are all over Yelp right now, leaving comments in the review section about her daycare. So I'm not sure how long her businesses are going to be up and running and thriving now that she's been identified. Her name is something. She's 47 years old, something Love. Valencia Love is her name. 47-year-old female who, I don't know how she thought she was going to be able to post bail and just identify herself as a friend. And you know what? She might just be a friend. It may not be her money. It just might be that someone needed to walk it in. R. Kelly couldn't because he's in jail. Someone needed to walk it in, and so he asked her, and she did it, and now she's suffering a backlash for having done that. So several restaurants she owns, as well as this daycare, and folks are coming after her in a real way. So that happened since we last spoke, because you understand on Saturday there was a whole lot of talk about whether or not he was going to be able to make bail, if at all, because it's reported that he is in financial duress, that he's nearly broke, and I see a lot of commentary about whether or not that's true. Folks think he's, that's all a ploy and he's really hiding his money. Now, he might be, but listen, I don't know who want to spend a couple of nights in jail, to throw somebody off the financial scent. That doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, he's reported to have some financial problems, and so again, talked a little bit about this on my podcast. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about R. Kelly's, purported financial problems. If you want to know more about that, listen to my podcast, Sergeant Dorsey Speaks, but I will tell you that it was reported very briefly that he owes about $162,000 in back child support, and he's been evicted from a couple of properties and is looking to go back to jail on March the 6th, I believe, the way it's reported. If he does not pay that back child support, he could find himself back in jail. So that $100,000 in cash that was put up to get him out might have been better spent paying off his his child support that was in arrears. So we'll see what happens with that. And then, of course, the other lurid celebrity sports news, if you will, has to do with NFL owner Robert Kraft. That seems like so long ago now, but you know, Robert Kraft was caught up in a prostitution ring sting that had been going on for several months. I think they said the FBI was investigating the spa for about 6 months. And, you know, while the story is salacious and it's awful, I mean, it's not awful that he got caught up in it because that's kind of entertaining. But the fact that these women were brought over here and held as sex slaves is really problematic. And I speak to that whole situation as well on my podcast, and why, in my mind, that's a big deal. But the fact that, you know, Robert Kraft got caught up in that is really kind of funny. And you know, I don't know this to be true, but I saw something that said that this spa was about, I don't know, 20 miles maybe from where little Tink Tink goes every weekend over there in Florida. And so I'm just wondering, dude, if Tink Tink is your friend, you know, and you guys got a lot of money, obviously, why are you going to a spa in search of happy endings? I mean, dude, you couldn't have just gone over to Tink Tink's place and had, you know, somebody waiting on you? Is it the thrill of being caught up in there? Is it the thrill of, you know, laying on a bed behind 1,700 other men and their liquids that makes you want to go do that? I don't know, because I think one of the times that he was caught on video, so it's not just them saying it, right? Because they got video, his little naked ass laying up in there waiting on this happy ending, right? One of the times was either before a game or after a game, so it's a hot mess. But you know what's going to happen at the end. He's going to, whenever they issue this warrant, if they haven't already, because there's supposed to be an arrest warrant that's coming, he will show up, bail out, and he will have his attorney work out some kind of a plea deal, and then that'll be that. I hope the bigger story and what will get the attention that it deserves to get is the women that were lured here and have been held as sex slaves. So anyway, that's that. You know, we haven't heard anything about it because, of course, right now the thing that's monopolizing all of the news is Michael Cohen, and we'll probably be hearing about that for a couple of days due to the fact that he said some things, Cohen I'm talking about now, said some things that implicated Junior and the daughter wife and Damien. Facebook, you know who I'm talking about, right? The daughter wife and her husband. They were implicated in that some of these payments that were made to Michael Cohen were checks that were written by at least Junior, and supposedly the organization had a hand in some other shenanigans that were going on with their foundation, with the Trump Foundation. So, you know, that stuff is going to be dominating the news. But while all that's going on, you know, there is other stuff happening. So listen, let's, you know, while it's fun and entertaining, let's not be distracted. And let's continue to pay attention to, you know, other things that are occurring, and certainly things that are of import, particularly when it comes to, you know, police issues, police-related shenanigans. Because imagine, if you will, that you were the victim of this thing. If you were someone who had a family member that was wrongfully arrested or wrongfully assaulted by a police officer, but you're just one little person and you can't really garner national support or national media attention, things are still happening, and we need to pay attention, and we need to make sure that folks are being held accountable. And so to that end, I want to thank Robin, who shared a story with me about a Massachusetts police officer. Now, this just happened a couple of days ago in Lawrence, Massachusetts, and what happened over there is that there was a police officer, 49 years old. His name is Carlos Vieira. He's a father. He is a Marine veteran, and evidently he likes 14-year-old little boys. So 49-year-old Carlos met up with a 13-year-old little boy on an app called Grindr. Now, for those of you who don't date online and who aren't into apps, Grindr is an app that is used to meet for gay, bisexual liaisons, mostly, I guess, between men, right? Grindr is an app that men use to find one another and meet up. what bothers me about this is that this 49-year-old man met a 13-year-old child, and he met him last summer, and it's just now coming to light. He met him last summer in a park. This 13-year-old kid rode to the park on his bicycle at about 10 p.m. The park is Mount Vernon Park. So my question is, 14 years old, he's on his bike at 10 o'clock at night. Now, I know it could happen, but, I'm a mom, and I don't know, I paid close attention to my kids, and, they didn't always appreciate it. But parents, what are you doing? Are you monitoring your children? Because how in the heck, first of all, is this 10-year-old able to jump on his bike at 10 o'clock at night and ride to a park? And why would a 14-year-old know about Grindr? I mean, when I think about what these kids are doing and involved in and knowing at their age now that they know it, and I contrast that with me when I was 14, well, let me back up, because maybe I shouldn't compare that to me when I was 14, because I was kind of different, right? I was rebellious, and I was hot to trot and all of that. I was a little fast tail, right? Little girl. But my mother was very strict, thankfully, and so I'm so glad that she was, because I would have tried to be that little kid who got on a bike at 10 o'clock at night and rode to the park, but my mom wouldn't have had it. So I'm wondering what's up with these parents, and how is this little boy able to do this? And so listen, this was last summer. Now, the way this became a big deal is because this young man was out with an aunt. And what happened is that they were being evacuated. The neighborhood was being evacuated because of a natural gas explosion, and this was in Merrimack Valley, okay? So this little boy and his aunt, they're being evacuated, gas explosion, and who does he see but 49-year-old Carlos directing traffic at the intersection in his police uniform. And so this kid panics and freaks, and he's like, ah, that's old boy that I met in the park last summer. And so the story says that he ducks down, and I'll just share the link with you if you, want to know the lurid details. But it says that he ducked down when he saw the police officer, because he really didn't want his aunt to, I guess pick up on whatever was going on, with the panic that he was feeling having seen this officer and knowing what they were involved with. So anyway, he tries to hide his face and himself from being seen by the officer. And then at some point, his mom finds out, and his mom consults an attorney and tries to figure out what should she do. And so the attorney then directs her with regards to filing some kind of a report. So, this is many months later, and it doesn't say in the link that I shared with you exactly what was involved with this encounter last summer. But listen, what are the chances now? This officer denies it. He's being held right now without bail. But what are the chances that this young man would see him, recognize him, identify him out of a group of pictures that he was shown, and just coincidentally the officer says, no, I didn't do that, but I am on Grindr as a married man and a father. I'm on Grindr. What's the likelihood that that coincidence would happen? And so, this is going to have to play out, and we'll see. And I'll try to keep an eye on it and follow back up to see what happens with the story with this young man. But this is really awful that this 49-year-old man would take advantage of a 14-year-old child in that way, if that's what he did as alleged. An eighth grader riding a bicycle, and this nasty bastard has him meeting him in a park to do what? We don't know. They didn't say, but what they did say is that this 49-year-old man was charged with some pretty serious crimes. 2 counts of statutory aggravated rape of a child, and 2 counts of indecent assault and battery on a child under the age of 14. So he's pled guilty, and we'll see what happens. One other quick non-news story, but this happened last week and I didn't get the chance to talk about it. So I'll just say this real quick, and then I'm gonna try to be done with this Jussie Smollett situation, because now it's being reported that somewhere somebody said he may have had a drug addiction, and I don't know if that's going to be the defense now going forward, that the reason he did this thing that he did was because of a drug addiction. But listen, I don't know, if he has a drug addiction. I don't know if he paid the Nigerians to beat his ass. But what I do know is that a jury is not going to believe that, because it's not believable that you would be able to, even with a drug addiction, to learn your lines for your show. Nobody on the show knows you have a drug addiction because allegedly it's untreated, and you seem to be functioning, right? You're a functioning addict, but then you have a 3-week brain fart where you just do something that just makes no sense, and the only way you can explain it away is because of a drug addiction that's unreported. It doesn't make sense, and I don't think a jury will buy it. So my hope and belief is that he will get an attorney who will work out some kind of plea deal behind the scenes that will hopefully keep him out of jail if he agrees to, going to rehab or getting treatment or whatever for this drug situation that he has, and hopefully that will save him the embarrassment, the humiliation of being incarcerated. I mean, he may very well wind up with the title of a convicted felon, misdemeanor, convict, something. But it might be enough to keep him out of jail. So anyway, that's what's going on, and I'm certainly sure that Smollett and R. Kelly both are happy about Michael Cohen and all that he had to say today, because it's taken the attention away from them right now. So that's kind of all I have in terms of what's been going on in over these last couple of days. I'm going to just kind of refresh my screen here real quick and see if anyone has anything that they want to say to me or that I want to respond to. Okay, Sherry, yeah, you responded to a daycare owner bailing out a pedophile, yeah, backlash, right. And, listen, it might not be her money, so we don't know. I don't want to, wrongly label her, because if she's just a friend and she's just doing a friend a solid, I mean, how many of us know folks that have done some things that we are not in agreement with? But if a good friend calls and says, hey, look, I need you to go to the house and look, in that special place where I keep money, because I need you to bail me out, would you do it? Of course you would, if you're a friend, and that's what she purports to be. So anyway, we'll see. There'll be more to be said about that in the days coming forward. And you guys, we'll do this again next week. I will, unless something happens, between now and then that I want to come back and share with you. But thank you again for stopping by to see what I have to say. I appreciate you. And again, share this on your timeline. Follow, subscribe to Sergeant Dorsey Speaks on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter. Those of you that are here on Facebook already know about me. If you're on YouTube and you happen to be on Facebook as well, come on over and you can see me live here. I will also send you over to my website, sergeantdorseyspeaks.com. I'm sorry, yeah, sergeantdorseyspeaks.com or sergeantcheryldorsey.com for where I am, what I'm doing, where I might be next, and more importantly, where you can get a copy of my amazing autobiography, Black and Blue, The Creation of a Social Advocate. So, until next week, you guys, be good, and really do be safe, especially when you're out in those nail salons. You guys know what happened to me this week, right? Be very careful in the nail salon, in the movie theater, in the grocery store, everywhere you go. We can't lunch, right? We got to pay attention, because folks could be out there who may not normally commit a crime, but might be an opportunist who's looking to do you harm because you've created an avenue and an opportunity. So listen, you guys, be good, be safe, and I'll see you next week.